Hey, Dialogue fans, we have another great episode for you today. We have her right here, the drag queen legend, Harmonica Sunbeam. For episode 25, Don't Touch My Wig. Here we go.
Are you ready? Sit down and turn off the TV because it's time for the Same Sex Dialogue Podcast, where you'll hear the most entertaining discussions about gay topics, current events, and news. We bring you the very best of the LGBT community and its supporters. And guess what? Today we have a special guest just for you. Now here are your hosts, K-Town, and the super sexy fashionista herself, Kim Style.
Hey, it's Kim Style. Thanks for listening to Same Sex Dialogue, where we talk about our lives, things that get on our last nerve, and LGBT issues, and other things, actually.
Yeah. And any other thing we feel like talking about.
Yeah, it's our podcast. We can talk about what we want.
I've missed it. Have you missed it, babe?
I haven't. It feels like it's been months. It's
I know.
only been a week.
I know. But you know what? You know why it feels that way is because we actually have been getting episodes stored for future release. So because we're trying to take a little bit of a break because we're going to wrap up our season.
Yes, we've been doing interviews.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. I don't know if you know this, but we've done 6 months worth of shows in like 4 months.
No,
yes.
I didn't know that.
I'm serious.
No wonder I'm tired. I need another nap.
You're crazy. You're crazy. But that's good. I mean, you know, we was feeling it, so we were pumping them out, and I can't wait to start on, season 2. So
season 1 was so great. I mean, we have done some phenomenal interviews. If you think about it,
we really have, and then been very, very surprised at just the progress that we've made, because when I listen to like our first show to now, like to even, our very last show that we just, put out, there is a noticeable difference in how we are doing it, how we sound, and, just the things that we've learned about the editing and, when to come in and when not to talk over each other. I mean, that's a skill. You know that.
Yeah, we're pros now.
Are you serious? Crazy.
No, really, we're just having fun, hoping to get some good information out to you guys, and we really are just having fun with this.
Yeah, we are.
But we are learning as we go, so bear with us. We're still learning. We still have a lot to learn. But having fun in the process.
Absolutely, and I've loved every bit of it. I look forward to more of this.
Oh, me too.
And you know what? I'm hoping that we can do some of this at some of the upcoming gay pride events, because that's coming up on us really quick. I mean, I know Knoxville already has started putting out their calendar events. So we've gotten a bunch of those on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're going to try to go to the park. I've never been to the Pride. The picnic, but
it's fun. We can take Ari, the kids. There are a lot of kids there. They have fun. You can take them. They play volleyball. They eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
And just have a good time. It's a family.
Yeah, it's a family
No
oriented.
pun intended.
Not like back in the good old days where you remember it used to be back off that road and on somebody's land.
That was not family oriented.
No,
but
wasn't.
That was not Pride Fest. That was a guy.
That was just like a 4th of July picnic. That was. You know what? Hold on. I seen you there. Many, many years ago, I seen you there, and you.
That wasn't me. That was my evil twin.
So edible.
I showed up in pasties and a cork every time.
You're crazy, baby. I'm serious though. We would be over there. It would be, usual. Bridget, Christina, and maybe like 4 or 5, maybe 6, 7 other people. We would all meet up over there. And, they had the little tents and everything set up and volleyball. And then it was sponsored because they had like I remember tents being on the back end of that property.
Oh, yeah, all the clubs around town.
Yeah, they had some big time sponsors, and it was beer. All you could drink beer all day, and it was wild. It was wild, and it was fun.
It was so much fun. That was the good old days for sure.
It really was. I miss it. I do miss it. But Pride is, it's coming out, and I know that you're going to be invited to do some things.
Mm-hmm. I'll host some shows or some events, whatever.
Yeah, you always do.
Yeah.
And
last year they had me in a swing over the runway at the fashion show.
You know what? I'm going to put that on our website. That. I am. I'm going to put it on our website.
Mm-hmm. I was in red lingerie and red thigh-high boots.
So good.
And hair down to the crack of my behind.
Ass.
Yeah, ass.
I'll post that for everybody
that was
to
fun.
see.
I have to tell you, that was fun. That was my finale for the fashion show.
I was nervous. I was
looking
looking at those connections,
the cables.
And the cables, and I was inspecting it, and because I don't want nothing to happen to you. You know what I mean?
You're a worrywart, though. I was up there having a blast. I was like slinging my hair back, and the director of the show was going, Kim, no, don't do that.
It was telling you not to lean back. Yeah, it was telling you not to lean back.
I was kicking my legs. I was having a good time.
I've never been. You looked hot up there for sure. You did. That was.
I felt
totally crazy sexy. I loved it.
It was
honey.
nice.
I'll post it. I will post that. But let's see here. Oh, let me just go ahead and get my announcement out the way.
Oh, okay.
What I want to tell everybody is both of us want to give our deepest thanks and gratitude for subscribing to our shows on iTunes, for visiting our new website, for leaving us kind messages on Facebook, for tweeting to us, for retweeting all of the things that we, that we put out on Twitter. And you have no idea how much that means to us. It's very, very kind that you take the time. You could be doing anything in the world, and you take time to listen to our show. And we want to thank you very, very much for that. And also, I wanted to say that for the folks that are listening to us in the United Kingdom, we do see those stats, and we know it's nothing but love for us over there, because that's jumped up to actually like 30% of our audience. It's like 50% United States or 59%, and then it's like 30-something% United Kingdom, and then it breaks down from there. I think Australia is next, and then some other countries down through there. But also, I want you to know that I did see Alaska pop up on our statistics. So the people out in Alaska that's enjoying our show, we appreciate that. And also, I seen Brooklyn, New York, huge.
Wow.
Brooklyn, New York is actually right up under Knoxville for our top cities that are listening to us. And also California. And I think I seen South Carolina on there, and then Maine has popped up today as well. So
awesome.
Everybody listening to us in those states, in those areas, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Nothing but love.
We have real quick, we have a voicemail icon on our website. You can get to it on your mobile phone as well, where you can just push that and leave us a voicemail. We would love to hear from you if you have any comments or questions about our show. One of us will get back with you. So.
Well, and also we were interviewed by WVLT this
week.
Right.
That's right. We were on since we were on TV. Actually, our stats shot up. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I know that we are really, really getting a huge following on iTunes, without a doubt. And we appreciate that. Mm-hmm. We want to tell everybody that we finished 88 episodes of Revenge.
Actually, the finale, it was, with counting the finale, it was 89. But who's counting? Since December, you and I have watched 89 episodes of one show.
Yeah, one show.
And it was Revenge. We could not wait to see the next episode.
It was amazing.
We loved that show on Netflix.
It was amazing. Anybody that has not seen it, go to Netflix and just, search Revenge. It is going to be the best show you've ever seen in your life. You and I were actually laughing about that. It's got actually 5.99% of the stars filled because someone...
Some asshole. One asshole went, I just don't like it. Other than that, 5 stars.
Yeah, you might as well say. But it's good. I mean, it's really good.
I'm actually sad it's over.
Me
because
too,
here
honey.
it is Friday, and I'm thinking, oh, we get to watch Revenge. But we don't, because we watched the finale yesterday.
We finished it. So we can start, making a murder. Everybody's talking about that.
We stretched watching the finale for like a week.
Yeah, I know we did.
We watched all the episodes. We saved the very last one. We
waited a whole week to watch.
Waited a whole week because we just wanted to savor it, I guess. That was a good show.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
The only show I've ever watched like that was Sex and the City.
You know every part. I don't care what episode's on. You know what they are talking about at that moment from any season in Sex and the City. That's crazy.
Basically recite the whole
all the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the movie. I didn't really care for the
second
Sex
one.
and the City part
movie
2. Part 2.
Part 2 it sucked.
Where they went to Dubai.
Yeah, that's just dumb. It wasn't good at all.
Sex
The first
and the
one was
City
good.
Movie.
Yeah, the first one was good.
That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But, I was all into Sex and the City, so.
Okay, so.
It's a girl thing, baby.
I know
it's a girl thing. I have an email.
You do? Okay.
I do.
Let's hear it.
All right. Email reads, Kim Style. Of course, it's to me. Please, please, please share some beauty tips. Rachel from Delaware.
Okay. You got 1 billion.
I do have a lot of beauty tips.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are you going to share?
I'm going to share 2 actually. Always blend your makeup. There should be no defining lines. Blend. There's a beauty blender. Real Techniques has a great beauty blender. Blend your makeup. But number 2, take a hairdryer, heat up your curling iron before you curl your eyelashes. And it acts as like a curling iron for your hair. It actually curls your eyelash. Oh, I have another beauty tip.
Wait a minute. You mean take your hair dryer.
Yeah, I know you've seen me do this a million times.
And heat up your
eyelash curler.
Okay, as you said, curling iron.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take your hairdryer and shoot it right on your eyelash curler.
Uh-huh.
Heat it up just for a few seconds, maybe 8 to 10 seconds.
Okay.
Curl your eyelashes.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
because it heats it up like a curling iron.
Mm-hmm.
But before you put your mascara on, if you'll put 1 tiny coat of waterproof mascara before your regular mascara, your eyelashes will stay curled all day long.
Oh, okay.
And that's my beauty tips
all
for the day. Thanks for asking.
I
love beauty tips.
You're so crazy, baby. Thanks for asking. You're so cute, babe.
Thank you.
So, what's been going on in your week, honey?
Well, I went to the dentist.
You did?
Yes.
What happened at the dentist?
Well, I didn't realize I actually had an issue, but I'm going to have a tooth redone. I'm not even having a toothache, but, I thought I was getting a little TMJ, and they stuck his thumb in my mouth and pulled that muscle. Mm-hmm. I feel like a new person. That's why I'm talking so much. I can actually talk now.
What do you mean they pulled a muscle? They stuck your finger in?
He stuck his finger in my jaw, and the fingers on the outside of my jaw, and pulled, like almost manipulated that muscle, and pulled that muscle. And if you have TMJ, he's a TMJ specialist. He's just my dentist. I didn't know he was a TMJ specialist. But my jaws are so loose now. I know you've seen me push and push and push. It's because my jaws were tight. I have been healed.
That's good, babe.
I know. I feel much better.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What else you been doing?
Well, Just my regular stuff. Not, I mean, after going to the dentist, I had to come home and take a nap.
Yeah. You're a mess. Well,
I have
at least
a rant.
Oh, okay. You got a rant?
Mm-hmm. It's a good one, too.
Let's hear that rant.
Kim's rant of the day. Let me tell you what really gets on my nerves.
What?
Is up talk. And if you don't know what up talk is, it's when someone talks like this and they end their sentences with a question and they don't know what they're talking about. And let me tell you this. I know this lady, and I use that term loosely. Mm-hmm. She's probably, I'm guessing her age, and I'm not really good at guessing, mm-hmm. but I'm guessing by the age of her 3 children, mm-hmm. she has 3 teenagers.
Okay.
So I'm guessing she's early 40s. So she's probably picked this up from her 14-year-old daughter. Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. Don't end your statements in a question mark.
Yeah.
In a question mark. Don't end your sentences with a question mark.
You're crazy. Yeah. I've heard so many girls talk like, so many women even talk like that. It is.
They hear it and they think it's cute, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I get it if you're 14 right. and that's what's going around junior high. But I don't get it when you're 43, mother of 3.
Right. Yeah,
it's not cute. It's not pretty. It's not sexy. It is simply annoying. Stop the up talk. End of rant.
I love it, babe. Things like that, you would notice anyway because they get on your last nerve anyway. I mean, you're a detail person, so even
I am a detail person.
People talk you would notice that.
Mm-hmm. I used to work with a guy, and this is a true story. Mm-hmm. He introduced me to his wife, mm-hmm. and he said, "Kim, I watched you look at my wife." He said, "I bet you can tell me every piece of jewelry she had on. Mm-hmm. You can tell me about all of her clothes. You can tell me her mannerisms. You can tell me how she wore her hair. You can even tell me the color of her eyes." I said, "You're absolutely correct, sir. Thank you for noticing." He said, "I watched you just look at her." I said, I don't mean to be rude. I just love to observe people, and I notice details."
You do notice details. I think that's a good thing, honey.
I don't know if it's good or bad.
How did she look? Was she
Well, she had green eyes, mm-hmm. and she had.
Did you like her style?
No. She was Walmart pretty. Straight up out of the trailer park.
Oh, you are crazy. You know it.
She wasn't totally unfortunate, mm-hmm. but she could have used some styling tips. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. So, hey, I'm excited about the guest that we have on, which is Harmonica Sunbeam. And she is a drag queen out of, she lives in New Jersey, but she performs in New York City. This is going to be a fun show. I'm glad that she took the time to sit down and talk to us. She's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. She's had some music videos. So if anybody has not heard of her, go on to YouTube and just search Harmonica Sunbeam and all their videos will come up. And so before we start that interview, babe, do you have anything you want to say?
Just thank you for joining us today and being so loyal, such loyal fans out there. We really, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate every single one of you.
Absolutely. So here's the interview with Harmonica Sunbeam. We hope you guys enjoy the show. Harmonica Sunbeam on the line. You took time out of your busy schedule to talk to our fans, and let's talk about you because you have a lot of videos where you actually perform up there in the New York City area, and people think very, very highly of you.
You know what? I wanted to know, when you're performing harmonic, is it mostly comedy?
It's mostly comedy, yeah.
Because you are hilarious, by the way.
I wanted to ask you, how long have you been performing?
26 years.
Wow.
Oh, since you were in kindergarten?
Basically, yeah.
So let's go back. I wanted to ask you, where are you originally from?
From Newark, New Jersey.
What age did you start to realize your sexuality?
Well, I was teased about it for, ever since I can remember. But I always knew that I liked playing with my sister's dolls.
Uh-huh.
And I would say somewhere between 7 and 9. Yeah.
Did your family know, and were they accepting?
Well, if they knew, it wasn't discussed necessarily.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think my mother passed away when I was 16.
Oh.
So, but I think at that point, then I was really like fighting with my feelings at that point. So, I believe before she passed that she knew officially, but we just never had that conversation.
Right.
Tell us about, tell us the story. We've seen them online, but tell our fans about when you realized you wanted to be a performer.
Oh, when I realized I wanted to be, well, I don't think I ever really realized I wanted to be a performer, in a sense. When I came out officially after high school, in the last year of high school, I started making trips with some friends of mine to the Village in New York City, and involved with the house ballroom scene, like some Paris is Burning.
Right.
And so, once I graduated from school and, I had more free time on my hand, I spent summers in the Village and met all these wonderful people from the world of the ballroom scene, and I actually became a part of a house, and so the House of Adonis.
Okay.
And so it was a new house, and I walked a few categories, sportswear, and they used to have like a punk rock category in those days too, and so there was a ball coming up at Tracks in New York City, held by Paris Dupree, who is Paris is Burning, is named after. And so the category is Butch Queen, first time up in drag to the ball. And so I talked about doing it, and my house members talked me into it, and they put me all together. And I did it, and I won. And, to this day, I wonder if I hadn't won, would I still be doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, would it have come back to be something that I wanted to do? And so, slightly after that, I went to a drag show, and I was like, wow, I can do that, And so it's like, oh, no, you can. Yes, you can, And then, of course, the first time you do anything like that, you have, the support of everybody around you, and they all come out and cheer you on and stuff like that.
Right,
so,
right.
And that's when, I started getting involved with the shows, and I would do them every so often. And then one day, the person who was supposed to host the show didn't come, and nobody else wanted to host the show. And I said, well, I'll do it, And they really took a liking to me hosting the show, and I made it different, and I made it creative. And I was, then they asked me, regularly to host, and it started from there.
Okay.
So it just kind of evolved. It was never planned in a sense, but so it just kind of happened.
What was the club that you actually started at up there?
First Choice.
First Choice.
First place ever. Yeah, First Choice in Newark on Ferry Street.
Tell us about your first club, your first time in there. Were you nervous? Did it come natural to you? Tell us about that first time you performed.
Well, there was a little bit of both because, it's about, it's one thing to be dressed as a female, and then it's another thing to be dressed and perform and remember words and entertain, like
Right.
You add on all those other, elements to the equation, and that's where it is. But because of the fact that, like when you have a support base that's out there that's rooting for you, and if you approach it, and this is still how I approach my stuff, I'm not too serious about being on stage, and because of the fact that my stuff is of a comedic nature, I'm spontaneous enough to roll with whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? So what if I fall? You know what I'm saying? So what if this happens or this happens? I'm still out here and I'm having fun with it, and I can make it work for me. As opposed to somebody else who may be so serious that, like if something goes wrong, they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
Or it shows in their face that they're like really like that's really bothering them.
Because you're a true comic. That's why. Well, how did you come up with your name, Harmonica Sunbeam? Where did that come from? Tell us about that.
Well, when we were in high school, like I said, I had two other friends, that in 11th grade that I eventually, met, and we all discovered that we were gay, and so we all had drag names, but, we hadn't done anything drag-wise or anything like that, and it was just names we made up, and so my name was Macadamia Serendipity, and because I like macadamia nuts.
Me too.
And I thought that name would be, I guess I was thinking in advance, I thought that name would be too long for Marquis, and so imagine all those letters putting up there. So I changed it to Tequila Sunrise, and then when I finally walked that ball, I changed it to Harmonica Sunbeam. Now I don't know how it transitioned from Tequila Sunrise to Harmonica Sunbeam.
It suits you for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's funny because I was interviewed years ago, and someone says, "Oh, when I heard that I was going to interview Harmonica Sunbeam, I didn't picture a black drag queen. I said, well, I never thought of the name being, a Caucasian drag name. I just thought of it as being a name." And I said, the thing is, when you get to make up your own name, you want to be as unique as possible.
Absolutely.
So as to stand out. Or at least to represent yourself the right way. There's so many people with common names, in a sense, common drag names, and then I didn't necessarily want it to be a play on words, in a sense, which is Tequila Sunrise is like,
Right.
Right. But I wanted it, so it's like the name Harmonica. Initially, it sounds weird or strange. But after a while, it has its own ring to it, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit so you perform in New Jersey and New York City?
I perform wherever they call me to perform.
That's right, girl. That's right. That's right. I hear you. Me too. What? Tell us a little bit about. We're from the Bible Belt, so we just would love to know a little bit about the gay night scene up there. Is it still hopping like it kind of was in the 90s?
It's not the same as it used to be, and even going out is not the same as it used to be. It's a whole different feeling nowadays with people going out. You have less people going out.
Yes.
And then when you have a show, you have less people in the moment. People are videotaping,
versus tipping, right?
Right, yeah. They're not necessarily living in the moment and just enjoying it,
Right.
And I kind of feel like this, if you are videotaping and taking pictures, you really should be tipping because now you have these memories that last forever.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
And, because I used to host a strip show for 12 years, and people would come in and they would take all kinds of pictures of these boys. And I said, you need to tip these boys, because you are, propped up against him, while he's working, and he's working for money, and yet you're not giving him the love that you need to give him.
Right.
You're walking away with all these memories, and it's kind of like the same thing with us. Before, everyone tipped, and now a lot of days, everyone's a videographer or a photographer. Or if they come out at all, it's so much
That's
harder.
true.
And I tell people all the time that it takes everyone involved in a party to get people out. Some people, the bartender may say, "Oh, it's really dead on. We need to get some people in here." Well, what did you do to bring people in too? Because it's a little bit hard. Before, it was just the person who promoted the event. It was their job to get everyone in, and that's because people went out 9 days a week. But now, people will, and especially with the economy and things like that, people will go out 1 or 2 nights, and, it has to really be worth their while. So everyone that's involved with that particular party needs to do their part, to ensure the fact that they will have a job next week.
Absolutely. And, down here in Knoxville, I noticed in the 90s, I'm in my 40s now, but it was, I think, easier for the girls to make more money. I mean, they actually were getting tipped, right? So from our perspective now, Kim and I talk about this a lot, we just don't see a lot of gays supporting
and that's
them
why I wanted
anymore.
to ask,
they just don't even come out anymore.
I wanted to ask Harmonica if it was the same where you are from. That's the reason why I wanted to ask this question. I've actually asked some of our friends around town what has happened to the gay clubs. They just aren't the way they used to be, and I have actually received several different answers, such as, well, we used to go out to get a hookup, and now we have the internet.
Yeah.
Right.
And or the economy. And I've actually heard, oh, well, straight bars now are so accepting that we just all mingle. And
Right.
I'm like, yeah,
We've
but you
heard
don't have
that too, yeah.
entertainment
Right.
like we have at the gay clubs. And it saddens me deeply that our gay clubs are just not what they used to be, how I grew up in
And the
them.
performers can't make a living like
That's
just
right.
they can't
That's
make
right.
a living anymore.
And Harmonica, I feel you when you say, people are standing there taking your picture and they're filming you or whatever, while all the while you're up there giving a free show. And I'm thinking, get up there. I'm not tooting my own horn, but my fiance can tell you I will stand and I make it rain on the queens because I know what it takes to get you where you are, and just for that night. I'm a queen at heart. Are you kidding me? It takes me.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That is right. So I feel your pain on that, and I really wanted to get your perspective on that subject specifically.
Yeah, and it's like a combination of all those, of all those reasons, and people don't want to support something until it's going.
Right.
Or and a lot of times, like I've started parties where I live at, and I've been known to do a really wonderful Tuesday night party in my area, and and people say, oh, well, it's on a Tuesday, why can't you get a Friday, why can't you get a Saturday? Well, you just can't walk into somebody's nightclub or establishment and say, yeah, I want your most popular night so I can try something.
Right.
Then and you guys have to work with me by supporting this, and we make this grow. You prove our point by your numbers and by the cash register doing well, that we can say, hey, maybe you can give us one Friday now,
Yeah.
And so you have to work your way up to it because people just aren't going to, take it. So I'm not asking you to come out. I know people work late at night. People work the next day. So I'm not asking you to stay there all night long, but just come by and support just so, we can build up the night and make sure it has potential. But on the flip side, people say, oh, well, I don't go out during the week because I have to work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But the people who come out, they come out at midnight. So if you're working the next day, why are you coming out so late?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
They do that here too. They do it here too.
I always push for earlier stuff.
Uh-huh.
People say, how come you're doing something so early? Because you have to work the next day. I'm giving you a chance to, And as I get older too, I prefer the earlier stuff.
Right. Right.
And years ago, one of the places I used to work at, the show was at 2:30 in the morning, and when people would say 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, well, it's not a matinee, It's not a matinee. So,
A matinee. That's funny.
And I thought nothing of it at 2:30 in the morning, but now you tell me 2:30 in the morning, I'm just like, well, that's going to throw my sheep off the rest of the week. And I'm not really too interested in stuff that's happening after midnight for me as an entertainer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know how, because we also know that a 2:30 show means that it's not actually starting to 3 o'clock. And then, so that whole kind of a feeling where it's just like, okay, it's already starting late, and now you're not even starting the late show on time.
Are you just performing now, or do you have another way that you're making your living?
Well, I'm a licensed massage therapist in New Jersey.
Okay.
Cool.
And,
Oh, can I just say one thing? The only thing I'm interested in at 2:30 a.m. is a dildo and a hot fudge cake. All in that order. All in that order.
it's either or, huh?
Either or.
Yeah.
Switching gears just a little bit. Tell us
Yeah.
tell us about your opportunity and how you started recording music. How exciting is that?
It was really, really great. It was actually the owner of the club that I worked at, and it was his idea to come up, like, to do something to increase my exposure. And we wound up doing 3 what they call bitch tracks. So I'm not actually singing; I'm like talking over music. And they did very well, and people to this day still remember me from the music and still ask me when am I going to do something else. And this is like way before iTunes and things like that. So the CDs were sold online, or in person.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, people to this day still ask me, about recording more music, and it's something I keep in the back of my mind, But it's funny because, as I get older, I said, that is one way to stay relevant amongst the newer people coming out through music.
Right.
That's a surefire way to, because, the people that are my age that came out with me and enjoyed my shows for many years, we all hear it from people our age that, they don't go out as much. Oh, I only go out, I go out once every 6 months. Well, I can't afford to support myself. Well, you go now every 6 months. So I need to find, people who are younger and more willing to go out on a regular basis.
Right.
And that, that's how the club life exists, because there's always younger people coming out that can go out and are willing to go out,
I wanted to ask you, we've read that you have worked with some famous recording artists. Can you tell us about some of those people and about the experience?
I've done some club gigs where they've had like Jennifer Holiday and Martha Wash and Robin S., Jody Watley at Pride events where I posted, and they were the headliner, so I would come out before these people and do my thing and warm the crowd up, and then bring out the headliner for the event.
Okay.
And it's always been very wonderful. They've always been very appreciative and willing to share the stage and the space. So it's always been a very good feeling. I also was I performed with Beyonce. I think that was 2004.
All right,
at the
now.
Roxy in New York City.
Wow.
Her stylist, by the name of Ty Hunter, he would come to my shows on Sunday, and I used to sell these videotapes of my stuff. And this was like way before YouTube and and stuff. So I would sell these, and they would very popular. And he would play them on the. They went from videotapes to DVDs, but he would play them on the tour bus.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was coming to New York, she had asked me to be involved with this performance. Really, really wonderful.
That sounds awesome.
Nice. Well, what's the craziest shit that's ever happened to you while performing?
Well, it's always a situation of somebody getting a little bit too maybe affectionate or too aggressive, groping on you or smacking your butt. Or once we were early on when I was at First Choice, and I was always very, I guess, worried about my identity. At first, like I didn't want people to know what I looked like as a boy, because I kind of like, I wasn't so comfortable or so secure in myself, with performing and stuff. And one of the customers was a little drunk, and he, when I walked away from him, he pulled my wig off.
Oh.
And, yeah, and it was one of those situations where you just kind of like react.
Yeah.
And I body slammed him, and put my wig back on and finished performing the song.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, because it's just kind of like a natural reaction that, like, wow, I can't believe this. So I wasn't even thinking like, okay, yeah, public figure, you're in the show. It's just like, okay, retaliate.
Right, right.
And it's funny because that's the only time I really had to ever get physical with the customer. Thank goodness,
Yeah.
Some people just, either try to become the show instead of enjoying the show, and that's what makes it, kind of messed up for the situation.
Well, I know this is nowhere near compared to someone pulling your wig off, but I was in the club several years ago, and this guy just kept on and on and on. I had a cowboy hat on, and I told my girlfriend at the time, I said, if somebody touches my hat tonight, they're going to go down. Somebody's going to die. And this guy had the audacity and the balls to come up to me and take my hat off. Well, if you wear a hat, that is your hair. And it's so frustrating for a stranger just to reach out and touch your personal being in that manner. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. You know what? Since we're on this subject, and this is not really in our notes or anything, but the subject came up. Because I've always wondered that, and I'm sure there are people out there maybe listening. Tell people why they should not, or why you don't, as a performer, would not want you to know your true identity, so people are clear and educated about why they should not pull your wig off.
Well, I mean, pulling somebody's wig off or disrupting the act period is just a big no-no.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that was in the beginning, and I was very shy, and I still wasn't, I guess, like comfortable with myself, as far as doing it. So, it was a big thing for me to be unveiled or outed in a sense when I didn't want to be,
right?
But yeah, it's just a matter of respecting the performance. Or sometimes some people come up to tip you and they mean well, but they want to tip you and then they want to tell you the story of when they met you in 2008 and you had on a red dress, a blue wig, and this and that. And it's just like, honey, this song is 4 minutes. And
and I don't have time to talk to you. This
Yeah. Just give me the money and move along. Give me your money, move along.
And you don't want it to present it like that.
Right.
That's basically how it is.
Right.
This is not the time to tell me this stuff, or ask me questions.
Right.
You're right. I was going to ask you, are you dating anyone right now?
Currently, no.
No. What is your ideal man?
Well, I would say just someone that I'm pretty open to all, and just someone who understands and appreciates what I do. They don't have to come to every show or be my biggest fan, but I want them to respect and understand what I do. And that's sometimes it's very hard to find, because you don't always find when you initially meeting someone and then telling them the type of work that you do. A lot of people seem to go right for and think that you want to be a woman,
okay,
or that you're always going to be dressed like that, and that's not the case, at least not here, Like I only get dressed up when I'm working, and I don't knock people who get dressed up to go out and have a good time. That's their thing, but everybody's different, so you can't really judge another drag performer that you've met and put us all in the same situation, because everyone is different in how they do things.
Absolutely, and we are definitely finding that out through our search and our education through these podcasts and interviewing so many different people. Harmonica, who has inspired you throughout your life?
My grandfather, because he was a very misunderstood man, but he was very goal-oriented and motivated. He had his ways about him that some people probably had a hard time dealing with, but he was a Capricorn like myself, so I think I understood him a lot more than most people do. But in addition to him, I would say Carol Burnett. I birthed like comedy and comedic style and things like that. And of course, you can't mention inspiration without mentioning Oprah. So,
what is your proudest achievement thus far?
Well, going back to school and getting my college degree in 2013. Initially, I went to college right after high school, and And I realized that I wanted to work and I wanted to get my own place. But like I said, I was still like, like trying to explore and find myself. And so when I left school, my family said, "Oh, you're never going to go back," and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And so then when I was 40, I went back to school, and then I got my associate's degree, and then I took some time off, and then I went back and got my bachelor's degree in 2000.
That's wonderful.
So I'm happy, because, it's like as an adult, you're much more focused.
I heard you say several times in your YouTube videos, education, school's a key word. Did you hear me say school? Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good message for everybody. Do you have any regrets or wish there's anything you could do over?
No. No, the only thing I probably would regret is like I never had a drag mother, so I never had someone to show me the ropes and lead me along the way.
Is there any advice you would give to others trying to follow in your footsteps, per se?
Keep doing it. Be open to constructive criticism. And even be open to what you consider to be judgmental thoughts or someone being negative, because there may be some truth in that as well. Take things with a grain of salt and just work on improving yourself. No one can take away your drive. You shouldn't let anyone take away your drive and ambition to do something that you want to do.
That's right.
Absolutely. What's the next journey for you?
Well, I really would like to, continue. I would like to travel doing like a one-woman show.
You better come to Knoxville.
Come to Knoxville, Tennessee.
It's funny because it's one of those situations because like I've been in the business for a long time, and the new generation feels like you haven't done anything unless you've been on RuPaul's Drag Race, and that's always like, so that's like the new thing, like, oh, when are you going on Drag Race? And it's just like, well, it's a thought, but it's not there's more than one way to skin a cat,
right?
And the big thing about that is that there are people who have made it without being on the show, and but a lot of the club promoters and people who do bookings, they enjoy booking them because they are able to fill up the clubs because of their TV exposure.
Right, absolutely, and that's all that is. So that's the holy grail right now.
What's one?
Yeah, because like sometimes you get like for that you may get talent, and sometimes you may not. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they go for.
What do people not know about harmonica?
They don't know that I've always lived in New Jersey.
So that you live in New Jersey?
that I've always lived in New Jersey. I've never lived anywhere else. And I said before I leave this earth, I'm going to move somewhere else. Even if I come back to New Jersey after 6 months, but I've always wanted to just live somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just to have that experience. I mean, I've traveled a lot, so it's not like I've just stayed home. So, but I would like to actually live somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, when it's time to hang up your heels and lay down and rest, and you've retired from the business, what would you like others to remember about Harmonica Sunbeam?
That through it all, that I remained humble. I enjoy the accomplishments and I enjoy the applause and the love of others. But it's a matter of remaining humble and not letting the lights and the popularity get to your head. Because
right.
just as soon as you the higher you go, the harder it may be to fall. So.
Right. That is good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Where can fans go to see you perform now?
Well, if they follow me on Instagram under H Sunbeam or Harmonica Sunbeam on Facebook, I list all my performances there. Like I said, I don't have any regular gigs at the moment, but I work wherever they call me. I'm going to be in Orlando, Florida, April 6th through the 11th with Big Boy Pride, which is large men of color in their Myra's Pride event that's in its 6th year, I believe, down in Orlando, Florida, in the Parliament House. So I am considered the first lady of Big Boy Pride.
Nice.
So
It is nice.
I go and I MC all their events and things of that nature. And it's not like most prides. It's a wonderful family-oriented pride in the sense that, you know, these guys are, you know, these larger framed guys can come and enjoy themselves and enjoy each other's company without being judged or body shamed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's a whole different feeling as opposed to going to other pride events where, you know, where there's, they're the leather people, they're the twinks, or they're the, you know, where everyone's kind of like, you know, sticking to their own particular group.
Right.
Is there one final thought or word you would like to leave everyone with today?
You know, you only get one life, and you got to make it count, you know. Just make the best of it.
That's a good one. Good one. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Well, we want to thank you for being on our show.
Yes.
We hope that maybe we can touch bases sometime in the future. If you want to find out more, have a link to her social networking sites on our website. And before we go, I'd like to say, baby, I love you.
I love you more.
That's the end of our show. Don't you dare leave without going to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Ciao, baby.